All right, y'all, we are in Unit 1. This is a new unit, and we are going to do a little bit of review today. This unit is all about polynomials, so make sure you write down 1.1 notes, operations on polynomials, and y'all actually should know a lot of the stuff that we do today. It should feel familiar, so let's see if that's true. We're going to start with adding and subtracting polynomials today. So let's get started. Oh, and then a polynomial, from the do now, you kind of should have been able to pick out like, oh, a polynomial is a expression that has multiple terms. And if you're like, what the heck is a term? Each one of these things is a term. It's like a piece. So a polynomial just has multiple pieces. Multiple pieces. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with this example. Make sure you write the example down. X squared plus 4y squared minus 3xy squared plus 2x squared y plus 4xy squared minus 4y squared. Okay, and I'm going to show y'all how I like to add these. And then, you know, if you do something different, you do you. But this is what I do. So first of all, I look at the sign in the middle outside of the parentheses, and I decide, do I need to distribute this sign? Do I need to do anything like change these things, the sign on those things? The answer here is no, because it's a plus sign in the middle. So it's not going to like change the inside of that parentheses set. Okay, so then once I figure out, nope, I don't need to distribute that plus sign, I rewrite everything. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to rewrite everything. We have x squared plus 4y squared minus 3xy squared plus, we don't need the parentheses. If we don't need to distribute that sign, we don't need the parentheses. Minus 4y squared. Now, some people like to skip this step of rewriting everything after deciding if you need to distribute that sign, and a lot of people actually mess up because they skip this step. So I do not skip this step. I don't want to mess up. All right, so now what I do is I go through, starting with the first term, so starting with this term, I go through and I start underlining common terms. So what do I mean? I start with one underline, one for the first term. Okay, that's an x squared. The next term we see is 4y squared. That's different than x squared. So I'm going to give it 2 underlines. It's different. It needs 2 lines. The next term we see is xy squared. That's different than the first term, x squared, and different than the second term, y squared. So it's going to have its own set of underlines, 3. Now I go to 2x squared y. X squared y is also unique. So I bet you can guess how many underlines I'm going to give it. 4. So I just keep doing this. If I find a match, I'm going to give it the same number of underlines as its match. For example, 4xy squared and 3xy squared, they match. So I'm going to give those both 3 underlines. So this one needs 3. And then the last ones, the last term, this minus 4y squared matches the plus 4y squared. So I'm going to give it 2 underlines. Sweet. Okay, now you are allowed to combine like terms. So we're allowed to combine the things that have the same number of underlines, the same matching variables. So here we go. Anything that's not like, it doesn't have the same things, you just leave it. Leave it as like what it is. So x squared did not have a like term. This x squared right here did not have a like term. So we're going to leave it, x squared, and then plus. Now we need to combine 4y squared and minus 4y squared. 4y positive minus the same thing, that's going to equal 0. So we have plus 0. And then we have to combine negative 3xy, so negative 3, and then plus this one, 4xy squared. Negative 3 plus 4, that gives me positive 1. So I'm going to say plus 1xy squared. And then the next term, 2x squared y, did not have a matching term, so I'm going to say plus 2x squared y. Then we are done. We have successfully added those polynomials. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So I'm going to do this a little bit faster, just because the first example, you know, I always go a little bit slower through. Now we're on the second one. All right, so add 4y squared minus 7y. I guess I can I'll keep this one up as an example for y'all if you're still writing notes on it. Okay. Add 4y squared minus 7y to y cubed plus 2y minus 3. So get this example down in your notes. And adding something to something, what operation does that mean we're doing? We're just going to do plus in the middle here. So I'm going to do what I did before and write everything down. 4y squared minus 7y plus y cubed plus 2y minus 3. All right, now I'm going to go through my next step. We have a y squared to start. Then we have a y. That's different. Then we have a y cubed. That's different. Ooh, but then we go back to a y. That was my double underline. And then we have just a number. That's also different. So 1, 2, 3, it's unique. Okay, so which ones am I allowed to combine? My double underlines, negative 7y plus 2y. So I'm going to start by saying 4y squared, because that was like a loner. And then we have negative 7 plus 2y. That's going to be negative 5. Hopefully you got that. Okay, so we have negative 5y plus, keep going, y cubed minus 3. Done. Okay. And you're going to get a chance to try in a second. All right. Moving along. Here we have subtraction. Okay, so this is where I was like, okay, should we distribute the sign? We need to check. Always check first. Should I distribute this sign? Should I distribute this sign? Yes, I should. It's subtraction, so it's going to change everything. So we're going to bring that in on all 3 of these pieces. And what that's going to do is flip the sign. So this is why I rewrite everything. This stuff does not change on the left. So we have x squared plus x plus 3. But the stuff on the right all flips. So this was positive 2x squared. Now it's negative 2x squared. It was positive x. Now it's negative x. It was positive 3. Now it's negative 3. And then we go through our normal thing of combining like terms. So I'm going to go x squared, x, a number. Ooh, we have another x squared. We have another x. We have another number. And now we combine the things with the same like underlines. So x squared minus 2x squared, that's going to give me negative x squared. X minus x, that just gives me 0. So plus 0. We don't really need the 0, but I'm putting it just in case. 3 minus 3, that gives me 0. So this equals negative x squared. Cool. Let's move to this one. This one always tricks students. So make sure you are not tricked. Oops, sorry. Okay. So this one often tricks students because of the way that it looks. Subtract 4t squared minus 6t from 2t cubed plus 3t minus 4. All right. Which one do you think goes first? If you were to write it like number 3, if you were to write it in this form, which one would go first? Would it be number 1 or number 2? Go ahead and tell me, which one do you think is going to go first? If we were writing it in like a normal subtraction form. Okay, so number 2 is going to go first. Number 2 is going to go first. The reason why is if you say take, subtract means take. So like this is saying like take this from that. Take this from that. What'd you start with? Did you start with this or did you start with that? You're taking this away. You're taking this away from something that you started with, which is that. You start with that. Start here. So we're going to flip this kind of. We're going to rewrite the problem. So we have 2t cubed plus 3t minus 4. That's going to go first. That's that, right? Now take it away from, that means subtract. Subtract 4t squared away from that. Okay, so now that we know how to like rewrite it, then we just do the normal thing, distribute the sign. 2t, and SAT really likes to use that kind of language to try to like trick y'all. So that's why we're talking about that. Remember, the sign, when you distribute it in, it flips, so we have plus 6t. Okay, and then we do our normal underline. So t cubed, t negative 4 t squared. Wow, there's not a lot of common terms here. And then 6t, that was a common one with the 3. Okay, and our final answer will be 2t cubed plus 3t, so plus 3t, 3 plus 6, that's plus 9t, minus 4, minus 4t squared. And I'm not worried about y'all getting it into like any kind of standard form. So that's that. Okay, we are almost done. I want you to try this one on your own. And just as a heads up, if you're trying to type into the box squared or x squared or y squared, this is how you would type that into your box. X squared is the same as, when you're typing, that's the same as x, and then use the little caret key, and then the 2. So you have to press shift. The caret is shift 6. This caret key is hold down shift and then press 6. That's how you type x squared. Okay, same with like y squared. Y squared, you would put the little caret. That means up in the air. It's like a little arrow pointing up. Okay, you try this one. Go. All right, I'm going to very quickly do this one, and then we'll move on. Ax squared y minus 3y squared plus 2xy squared minus 2x squared y minus 4, flipping the sign because we're doing subtraction, plus 4y squared. And then we find our like terms, x squared y, y squared, xy squared, x squared y, xy squared, and y squared. Okay, and then I can combine the single lines. 8 minus 2 is 6, x squared y, negative 3, positive 4, that's plus 1 y squared, positive 2 minus, oh wait, just kidding, positive 2, did I combine the wrong ones? Yes, oh my lord. Sorry, y'all. Okay, let's start over. 8x squared y minus, no, I didn't. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. 6x squared y. That was correct. Minus 3y squared plus 4y squared. This was also right. I'm just losing my mind. All right, 2xy squared minus 4xy squared is negative 2xy squared. There we go. That should have been your answer. I hope you got it. Cool. Now let's do multiplication, and then we're done with notes for the day. All right. Now, multiplying polynomials. Put this in your notebook. Multiplying polynomials. And get this example in your notebook. Multiply x squared plus 3x plus 1 times 5x plus 2 and combine like terms. All right. What method? What are we going to draw on our paper to multiply these two things? Put it in the box. What are you going to draw on your paper? Go. Okay, hopefully you said the box. When we multiply, we want to draw the box. You can put the tall one first. You can put the short one first. It doesn't matter. I'm going to put, like, and by tall and short, this is like the longer one, right? And this is the shorter one. I'm going to put the short one on the side. It actually doesn't matter. So I'm going to put 5x and then plus 2 on the side. And then we have 3 spaces. We have x squared, 3x plus 1 plus 3x. Okay. Now that we have drawn our box, we're ready to multiply. So we're going to do 5x times x squared. That gives us 5x cubed. 2 times x squared will go here, 2x squared. 5x plus, or sorry, times positive 3x. That gives us 15x squared. 2 times positive 3x gives us 6x. And then 5x times 1 gives us 5x. And then last, 2 times 1 gives us 2. Okay, so now that we have multiplied, check, we multiplied, then it says combine like terms. That's what we have to do to finish off the box. And you will notice that the like terms, the things that have the matching variables, are always diagonal from each other. So you're going to combine the diagonals. Combine, oops, I did not mean to do that. combine the diagonals. This and this can combine. They'll always be diagonal from each other, the things that you are combining. When you're multiplying, your answer is inside the box. Okay, so x cubed, the x cubed term does not have like a match, so it just stays 5x cubed. We can't combine it with anything. Then we add 15x squared and 2x squared. Oh, also combine like terms, you add them. Add the diagonals. You can write a note if you weren't sure what to do. Add the diagonal. So 15 plus 2, that gives us 17 x squared. 6 plus 5, that gives us plus 11x. And then the 2 is a loner, just like the 5x squared, so it stays out on the side. And that is your answer. That is the answer to those two things being multiplied, those two polynomials being multiplied. Okay, now you try. So I'm going to zoom out so you can see the example still. I want you to try this one. Multiply x minus 1 times x cubed plus 2x squared. And if you're not sure where to look, you're down here. Multiply x minus 1 times x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 2 and combine like terms. Go. Okay, let's see how you did. We are going to draw the box again. And I like to put the short one on the side of the box. I did not draw a long enough box. This one's a little longer, right? We have 4 terms on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. X minus 1 is my shorter one. We have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. Okay, let's multiply. X times x cubed is x to the 4th. Ooh, we didn't talk about this. So in case you were wondering, you add the exponents. Add the exponents. So this is x to the 1, x to the 3. When you're multiplying, you add exponents. So just as like a heads up, if you were like stressed and didn't know what to do, you're adding the exponents when you multiply two terms. Okay, negative 1 times x cubed, that's negative x cubed. X times 2x squared, that's 2x cubed, because we're adding 1 plus 2, right? Negative 1 times 2x squared, that's just going to be negative 2x squared. X times negative 3x, that's going to be negative 3x squared. Negative 1 times negative 3x, we're going to, negative times a negative flips the sign, so it's positive 3x. X times 2 is 2x. And then negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. Flips the sign. Okay, really quick. If you do not get like terms, like in your diagonals, if they're not both x cubes or both x squareds or both just x, that means something went wrong. So like check your diagonals. Do they match? Do they look like terms that can be combined with addition or subtraction? Yes. Okay, so that means you probably did this right. And now let's combine those like terms. So we are going to do x to the 4th. That's a loner, it stays by itself. Then we have 2 plus negative 1 x cubed, because there's a 1 right in front of there, right? So 2 minus 1 is plus 1x cubed. Then we have negative 3 plus negative 2. That's making negative 3 more negative. So we have negative 5x squared. Then we have 2x plus 3x. That's 5x. And then minus 2 is a loner. You just leave it outside. Sweet. That is notes for today. Good job, y'all. Now let's practice.